Hi, my name is Dr. Felicia. I'm a licensed psychologist and owner of Skill Set Counseling, where I focus on the treatment of OCD and anxiety-related disorders, spiritual abuse, and cultural abuse. Today's video is going to be in the realm of anxiety, and specifically why individuals who are having challenges with anxiety sometimes find that therapy is not effective. I know that can be a really challenging situation. Imagine having loads of anxiety, feeling that you're not able to get through your day, going through the work of finding a therapist, only to find that after some time you feel like your money is being wasted and the therapy is not effective. Now, there's several reasons why one who's having anxiety issues will find that therapy is not effective. And I have some other videos. If you go on the playlist on my channel under therapy, you'll see some videos that cover why sometimes therapy cannot be effective or what to expect in therapy. But today I'm going to be specifically discussing one reason why people who have anxiety may not find therapy effective. And how this can happen is basically driven by what you're looking for. If you're having challenges with anxiety, a lot of time, and this is not just limited to people who have anxiety, but people typically want what is known as reassurance. And so if you are struggling with anxiety, you might find that you are looking to your environment, looking for environmental cues that will help you get rid of that anxiety. You might be going to family and friends for concerns and looking for reassurance and different things like that. And what is reassurance? Let me just go over that. Reassurance is the removal of doubt and fear. So when people are having anxiety, they are looking for reassurance. That is completely normal. It is understandable. It's part of the whole process of navigating through anxiety. The challenge is when you are in the throes of anxiety and you are looking for reassurance and you want that, it is not necessarily what you need. This is a struggle that all of us humans have, is that we can want something, but it is not beneficial for us. And the same goes with anxiety. Somebody may want reassurance. They may even feel like they need reassurance, but it is not helpful. I'm going to explain why. When you have any kind of challenge with anxiety and you are looking for reassurance, you are looking for it because you believe that the presence of anxiety is getting in the way of your goals and values, and therefore you must eliminate it completely to make progress. And that simply is not true. Anxiety is as difficult and challenging as it is, does not need to be completely eliminated for you to begin to make progress in life and do the things you want. However, that's not what anxiety is telling you, especially when you're having really challenging physical sensations. You feel that your heart is beating so quickly, you feel like your throat is dry, palms are sweaty, everything. Your body is telling you something completely different. However, when you are looking for reassurance and you get that reassurance, it is a counterproductive effect. At first, you feel great. All the doubts that are running through your mind have gone away. You feel confident. You feel like, yes, I can do this, only for those anxieties and fears to come back. And that is the problem with reassurance. You can never fully get rid of doubt or fear or anxiety permanently. That's the lie that anxiety tells you. And when people are looking for reassurance, they believe that if they could just get rid of this anxiety, that everything will be good and they can move on and do what they need to do. But that's not the case. And so when you are looking for reassurance and when your goals are tied to receiving that reassurance, it becomes a never-ending process because reassurance will never be enough. You will always be looking for different types of reassurance, and you will need the reassurance in larger amounts. Reassurance acts similarly to an addictive drug, right? And so, at first, someone may take a drug, they don't need that much of it, but as time goes on, they need more and more to get the same effect. And that is exactly the same way reassurance works. And that is why sometimes people who have challenges with anxiety find that they drive people away in their environment, or they get in conflict with them, or they irritate them because they need increasing amounts of reassurance, and people just are not capable of filling that void. Okay, so I explained reassurance, I explained why people seek it. why people want it and why it's not effective. And the same can happen with therapy. When people go to a therapist, therapists are well-meaning, in general, and it's very difficult for us to see a client who is in distress. And so sometimes when people are looking for therapy, they want that therapist and they want that therapy process to provide reassurance. So, they want to feel like whatever they're afraid of, whatever the anxiety is telling them will not come to pass. And so when people are looking for that, initially getting that reassurance from the therapist and from that therapy process feels great, right? Because all these doubts that have been holding you down and getting in the way feel like they are no longer an issue. The problem is that reassurance is never enough. And so you're going to need more and more of it. And people, when they express their dissatisfaction with the therapy process, sometimes it has been linked to this never-ending quest for reassurance. And so I'll hear something like, my therapist is great. We talk, we have a good relationship. And, at first they were reassuring me and providing a lot of comfort and a lot of feedback that this wouldn't happen, or that I'm a good person, or that, this catastrophe is not going to happen. And that feels great. You feel connected and bonded to somebody when they are reassuring you. But then eventually I'll hear that, it just wasn't helpful over time. They begin to doubt themselves and even the therapist, because they're thinking, this reassurance isn't enough. When you get reassurance from someone, it gives you a few messages, right? And I'm not talking about the type of reassurance where somebody might try to comfort you if you're feeling down. I'm talking about specifically reassurance tied to your anxiety in the attempt to get rid of any fear and doubt that you have. When that happens, and when someone is on the receiving end of this, what they're being told or what's being communicated to them is that they are incapable of managing their own anxiety, right? The anxiety is too much and too overwhelming for you to handle. It's dangerous, okay? And so you need the reassurance to come in and remove the doubt and fear. But the anxiety is not the issue. It is how you are relating to the anxiety and how you're responding to it that is the problem. And so reassurance puts the spotlight on the wrong issue. Okay, and so when people are getting, excessive amounts of reassurance and are just trying to have that doubt and anxiety soothed and relaxed away, it can make you feel unfulfilled. It can make you feel frustrated. And the sum of that is that you don't have the skills that you need to tackle the anxiety head on. Again, it sends this message that that the anxiety that is in your life is too much for you to handle, and you can't manage unless you get rid of the anxiety. And it's not the anxiety, it's how you relate to it. And I have another video that goes more into depth about this, and you'll see it on the playlist under anxiety. It's just, and the video covers how we relate to anxiety, okay? So what do we do instead, right? So I'm sure you're hearing all of this and thinking, well, okay, if I can't get reassurance, if reassurance isn't helpful, then what am I supposed to do? Or how am I supposed to find, the type of therapeutic approach that's going to help me? And the first thing we need to realize is that the therapy, there are all different types of therapy out there, but the types of therapy that are evidence-based, that show to be effective for addressing anxiety, work through behavioral change, okay? They don't focus on relaxing away anxiety, making it disappear, or reassuring you that whatever it is you're anxious about is not that big a deal or not going to happen, okay? Effective therapy teaches you that despite what your mind and your body are telling you, movement towards your goals and your values are possible, and you learn how to move forward in spite of that anxiety, okay? It teaches you, good therapy will teach you to put an objective distance between the all-consuming thoughts and feelings that happen with anxiety, and help you learn to approach things differently from what your mind and your body are telling you to do in the midst of your anxiety. Okay, so you're going to hear me say this often on my channel. It's one thing to know certain things about anxiety in your mind. It is a completely another different thing to embody those principles and learn them through life experience in therapy. Okay, so you might be hearing this and say, well, look, I know anxiety is not going to kill me. I know that, it's something that I can work through. And I've heard that from people several times, right? It is one thing to know it, and then it's actually another thing to live that experience and to learn through therapy, through somebody who is an objective observer who can give you challenges and exercises that will help retrain your brain and retrain your mind and your whole person to look at anxiety in a completely different way. And so that's one thing I want you to take away from that, is that it's from what I'm saying is it's one thing to think anxiety is not going to hurt you and to know that in your mind. It's another thing to have that lived experience. And when I work with clients, when we are doing these sorts of behavioral exercises, when they're learning skills to help them move toward values, live in alignment with the things that they hold dear, that anxiety has been robbing them of, they come away with it completely different. And they say, I knew in my mind that anxiety was holding me back, but when I actually did these exercises, when I applied these principles in the midst of suffocating anxiety, I learned that yes, I could get through it. And so that is what therapy teaches you. You learn and you are out there doing these things in between therapy sessions, not just listening to someone give you a pat on the back and say, oh, it's going to be better, you're going to be okay. I'm not saying that your therapist shouldn't provide comfort to you or anything like that. One thing that really helps in therapy that is so that really that helps people move through challenging situations is validation. Okay. And what validation does is it says, look, I see you, I hear you, I'm in your corner, I'm cheering for you. Okay. And so you want a therapist that will do that for you and have the focus on the validation instead of the reassurance. Okay. So when I've talked with clients before, when I've worked with them, they will say that that validation piece is really important. And it's important for any type of issue you're going through. Validation builds a genuine relationship and a genuine bond between you and your therapist. It's not something that will be there 1 minute and gone the next minute simply because of the reassurance route. And so what I'm saying is that validation helps you regardless of whatever you're going through with your anxiety. It's not there to tell you this won't happen. It's there to say, look, you have the resources, you have the skills. I see you, I hear you. Whatever you're going through is not unique to you. And here are the resources to help you get through that. And so if you found this content helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and also comment in the comment section about what your experiences have been. Have you ever received reassurance, and what was that like for you in the beginning? And then how did you realize that, this reassurance is not in my best interest? It's really important to reflect on those types of experiences that you've had. Also, clicking the thumbs up button will help get this information and content out to those who can benefit from it. So I'd really appreciate that feedback if you found this helpful. And then lastly, if you would like some help, if you would like to build skills in helping you change how you relate to your anxiety to move in line with the values and the goals you have, if you want to be able to work with someone who will provide you with that validation and also help you do the necessary work and skill building to help you deal with anxiety head on, build the skills you need, go ahead and click on the link in the description box, and that will take you to my website where you can book a free consultation. And then you can also just go to my website, directly skillsetcounseling.com, and that way you can book a consultation with me and see if we're a good fit and help you get moving with what you want to accomplish. All right, may you have a wonderful day filled with peace. Bye-bye.